What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Haak, Deuce Gun. Come to you live out Southwest Philly. I come to you, just to comment tonight on Lord Jamar's comments about uh, Eminem predominantly, but white rappers in general being guests in the house of hip hop. Now, when I was watching the DJ Vlad interview a little while ago, I was listening to the response that he had from Lil Boosie disagreeing with what his statement was and giving his reason why. And then, like, when it came back to Vlad talking to Jamar, I'm paraphrasing, but for the most part, Jamar was like, Jamar was kind of like, my fault for spitting, but Jamar was like on a, just because you went somewhere or you got something don't mean you own it. You go get on, you save up money to go on vacation to be what, a guest somewhere. You don't own the hotel, this, that, and the third. Their initial comments wasn't about owning hip hop. It wasn't about him being the owner of hip hop. It was about like the prominency that he reached as a lyricist and as an MC. Whether you just want to look at uh, album sales and shit like that, if you want to look at it comparative to other artists in the same genre and field, if you want to look at it from a lyrical standpoint and the type of shit that he be saying, or how he can put his verses together and things of that nature, he was just heralded as one of, if not the greatest lyricist of all time. So when you hear that statement, you have to learn to separate the word rapper from lyricist, MC from rapper, and so forth and so on. The way that man put lyrics together, if you really sat down yourself and like wrote down his lyrics, or looked on a website where somebody like wrote down his lyrics already, and you like went through his words and like defined every definition and seen every double entendre and flipped every celebrity, innuendo, bro, you be like, damn, this man hit crazy, and he like 40. I'm 35. I still produce. I still spit. I write for other people and shit, bro. To be able to do what he did, like, first of all that he had guessed in hip hop because of his skin color, what makes all African Americans the owners of hip hop? Like, just because rappers were black in the Bronx and shit like that, and then other cities in the world, the majority of the artists were African American or some other minority. So you would figure they the ones that started. So everybody that comes in is like an owner. If you want to speak on that whole ownership shit, because that was just like a whole nother flip. Because it was kind of like you get proven wrong, and instead of like just facing up to like, and I don't mean no disrespect or nothing, but I'm being honest. Like, it's kind of like when you arguing back and forth about something, y'all got two different points of view, and then like it's proven through facts, not opinion or emotion, but it's proven through facts. Instead of the person acquiescing to that or like falling back to it, they'll still argue that point. They'll still push that shit. They'll give it to you they'll try to change the narrative. Now, instead of like, let's give you an example. You be like, man, 2 + 2 is 4, and you speaking mathematically, or that person speaking mathematically, but you speaking scientifically, and you got to say something like, well, 2 + 2 could be 5, because in science the plus is a mass. You have to add that mass. So the 2 over here plus that mass plus that 2 over there could be 5. And y'all arguing, then all of a sudden you show him facts of that. And instead of him saying, oh shit, I never knew that, and y'all finding out more about that, the next thing you know, he changing the narrative. Well, fuck that. The Patriots suck or something like that. Like, no, bro, like, stick to what the narrative was. The narrative was never Eminem owned hip hop, or somebody said he was the owner of hip hop. He owned hip hop. Like, no. They were just saying that he was heralded as one of the greatest of all time, and if not the greatest lyricist of all time, just because he's white. And if you think about that, because of the prominency of African Americans in music, the fact that he came in, made his shock value, Marshall Mathers LP, dressing up like Marilyn Manson and doing all that Britney Spears smacking and all that, coming at Christina Aguilera and all the pop artist shit, and made his niche, and then was able to show that he wasn't just a shock value rapper that did like the new wave Weird Al Yankovic shit. It was like, no, I can really do this, and he killed shit. Whether he didn't put on tracks with like the Forever joint with Drake and Kanye and Wayne, like he murdered that joint. There's nobody that can like say he didn't. And when you look at Eminem's newest album, Kamikaze, and you listen to the track Fall, and he makes like a little reference to that, like, sorry if I took the track Forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how he did that. So for me, just because you're of African American descent and you decide to go into music, whether you got managers, whether you just do this new wave of going on SoundCloud and starting your own independent wave and people notice you, whatever your path may be, does that make you an owner of hip hop because you got signed? Like, let's think about it. How many African Americans still own the companies they started? Like, I don't mean no disrespect. We ain't even gonna get into the sexual allegations or nothing like that of some of these hip hop owners, like, you know, Russell Simmons and shit like that. What's been going on with sexual allegations? We only gonna talk about like prominency in their labels. Before any sexual allegations came up, the presidency of Def Jam got handed to Jay-Z before. So you figure these people didn't keep their own position for that amount of time. But then think about all the people that were signed as artists, their path to artistry and the labels that they were signed to. How many people own the label? Not a label, not a subsidiary that the label still owns and funnels money through and all that. No, no, no. How many people own the label? How get drops? How drop the label? How many people do that? Not every African American that's in music. Just because you're an independent artist and signed with Koch and y'all partners, or you partner up with BMI and y'all do something with ASCAP, and the next thing you know, y'all signed with Warner Brothers and Universal Music Group. No, nigga, you still owned by somebody. So how many African Americans who rap own these shit? You want to talk about the ownership part? That's the part that I'm really focused on. So it ain't gonna be no weird editing effects or nothing like that. I'm not gonna go take the footage from what they did and edit it on my computer and add this in. No, I'm gonna put this straight raw the way it's recording right now. And in fact, it's going live, so everybody gets to watch this after the fact. You can't really say something about ownership. Like, I want y'all to go check out, you know, that Vlad interview where it's topic or titled, you know, Lord Jamar responds to, you know, Lil Boosie disagreeing with his comments. And it's like, listen to him change the narrative. It's like, again, we were talking about, you know, guests in hip hop, and it wasn't about ownership. It was just about, like, the way that he put it. It wasn't about ownership, somebody thinking they own it. And then when Boosie say what he said, and they flash back to him, he's like, well, he gave you all these examples about going on vacation, and if you do this, you're not really the owner, you're a guest. If I let you in my house, you're a guest, you get treated to nice stuff. Yeah, that's cool. But isn't that true for, like, every person that ever signed that contract? Like, aren't they all guests? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you signed to be on a label with somebody and y'all guys was doing your thing and whatever, bro, if you don't own that label, if you got signed to Arista and you sing, if you don't own Arista, aren't you a guest on that label? They can drop you anytime. They can default on that contract, use it for tax write-off and all that. And then if you sign like a multi-album deal and can't fulfill that deal because they're not funding you to put more albums out, you still contractually obligated to be on that label. Do you own shit? Can you just say, all right, I'm done, I'm gonna do my own thing? You can't. Right now. Just because y'all had a group, or because you was a solo artist and sold a lot of records, do that mean you own hip hop? No, it doesn't. So that part right there, I just had to comment on. I don't agree with that at all. Isn't any, like I said, isn't any artist that gets signed a guest in hip hop just because they African American, they automatically becomes owners of hip hop? They own hip hop, and anybody that's not African American or any minority, if you white, you know, you can't come out and do your thing. That should be why you herald Eminem as a hotter lyricist even more, because how many other white MCs? Eminem wasn't the only person. Macklemore's wasn't the only person and shit like that. The Jamiroquai's wasn't the only people that were that were Caucasian that came out and did their thing and tried to get some prominence. There's a lot of people we never heard of that didn't make it past that because of them being Caucasian. So the fact that we already had the stigma of the African Americans being the better lyricists, better rappers, entertainers, and a white motherfucker came out and did what he did, was able to go to the level of prominence that he did, I think we gotta give prominence to that. All talking about whether or not do you own it, do that make you an owner, and also the third, like, what are you talking about owning something? Like, I don't get that own it. I don't mean no disrespect. I listen to Brand Nu-bian and all that shit. Just me, myself, and I. Well, that's De La Soul. See, I did it on purpose. But anyway, I only did that to take a shot. I'm just fucking around. Don't mind me. You know what I mean? We from Philly. We got that shit called Ya Mean. We started that. No offense, but a lot of niggas from a lot of other places that took our shit, swagger jacked it, and switched the shit around, put an H and an end in the motherfucker. I mean, we used to be YAHMEEN. You got a hyphen between the YAH and the MEEN. Now motherfuckers got the Yanada means and all these other ways to say it, bro. Like, Philly get love everywhere we go. And not on some arrogant shit like stick your nose in the air, because you could be from anywhere and act like that and get your shit taken off. But it's just like, you can go anywhere, bro. I've been in North Carolina and other places and shit like that. Like, where you from? Hearing how I talk about, I'm from Philly. I'm from West Philly. I'm not one of them guys that be like, I'm from Philly, but they from Lancaster or something like that, Norristown. Like, no, bro. I just don't agree with that comment. Like, that's why I had to go ahead and do this video put that shit back because like that was retarded. It's like everybody that is African American or any minority, if they sign a record deal, will a motherfucker own the company because they signed a record deal because they black or Mexican or Hispanic or Puerto Rican? No, they a guest in hip hop too because they was allowed by the motherfuckers that sitting up in them office who not African American, who not Puerto Rican, who not Asian or whatever like that. These Caucasian males, Jewish motherfuckers who don't really know too much. They just capitalizing off the success of others. So all the motherfuckers that got signed up that's not owning their own shit, that don't run the label, are fucking guests in hip hop. Anybody that was allowed, that let a L.A. Reid walk them in, or any A&R let them get their music heard, and they came in for a business meeting and you got signed and they put you on a EP deal or something like that, or a little opening tour to open up for Alicia Keys or something like that. Like all y'all motherfuckers, regardless of what ethnicity, what background you come from, they all were fucking guests in hip hop. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. I really find it ironic that I'm defending Eminem when I don't care too much for the music industry because I know a little bit more than others and I know what it's about. You know what I'm saying? And me being a recording artist and a producer and a radio show host and all that, a podcast speaker, my goal is not to get big enough to be sponsored or signed with one of these companies. I want to be able to keep my own shit the way it is and just give other people the opportunity to use my platform to boost themselves. That being said, I can't turn a blind eye to when something is good. It's like if you like basketball and your team is the Chicago Bulls and the other boys you fuck with team is the Seattle Supersonics, aka Oklahoma City Thunder, and y'all like watching the game and shit like that. Y'all get competitive about the situation. It's like it shouldn't be a rhetoric of bullshit on the side. Like y'all fans of who you fans of, they do their thing. I ain't got no hate against nobody. Make your money, sell your albums. But damn, like to make it seem like, oh, they're a guest. So if a basketball player get drafted and he just a pure white boy, he ain't mixed with no German, Russian, Argentinian, he was over in the Euro League, he just a white boy that went to college, played 3-4 years, could have been a one and done, came out and started playing like LeBron. Athletic like LeBron, shoot like Dirk Nowitzki and Arvydas Sabonis, defend like DeMarcus Cousins and Shaq combined, and can actually shoot free throws. And you see that, and he's like, damn, look at these hybrid centers, these big ass 7-foot niggas who can shoot threes and all that, and defend like Karl Anthony Towns and all that. You know what I'm saying? Are they guests in the NBA? Is that white boy guest in the NBA? He come out playing crazy like LeBron and get all these stats, and I don't mean he's just some white boy that can shoot like Larry Bird. And he didn't. No, I mean like he's an all-around athletic player. He's intelligent, know how to see shit on the court and pass the ball and all that type of shit. Can dunk and slash like KD and LeBron. Can shoot the three like Clay or Dirk. You know what I'm saying? Could back you down and play defense like Anthony Davis and your man Shaquille O'Neal. He got all them intangibles and can play the 1 through 5. Is he a guest in the NBA because he's not predominantly black, because he's white? In the NFL, because it's a predominantly African-American sport. When a Tom Brady ass motherfucker start coming out, like, do we think Patrick Mahomes is the next coming great quarterback? Will he be in the league for multiple years and all that shit? And next thing you know, like, bam, he might be the next Tom Brady 20 years down the line, 15 seasons down the line. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't just, like, automatically dismiss how, regardless if the ethnicity is a lesser percentage of whatever that profession is, then the predominant joint, they not guessing that. Everybody there is guest. We all had to go from the low level to the middle level to the collegiate level to the pro level, and those who were privileged enough to get signed, to get drafted, to get deals and stuff like that, to play for developmental leagues, and then years later get picked up by the pro league. That's a privilege. You were a guest. Just because you was African American didn't automatically give you a instant degree or instant ability to play this sport and you automatically gonna get signed. It don't matter if you just sit home and chill all day and then all of a sudden when you turn 18 through 21 you signed in the NBA. It's not handled like that. Therefore it ain't no ownership. It shouldn't be about ethnicity. It should be about the judgment of one's character, and the character here we're speaking of is the lyricism of this artist compared to other artists. It's not about owning nothing like this. The comments about he's a guest in hip hop because white people, this, that, and the third, it started in New York, black people, okay. But like every black artist that wants to do music doesn't automatically get a guaranteed contract. You know how many people, just like I gave you the sports analogy, you know how many people want to rap or sing, do some type of entertainment on stage? Just because that particular entertainment field may have been done better by African Americans. Does that mean anybody that's not African American is a guest in that profession? Thespians are that are not of French descent are guest in opera and stuff like that. You understand what I'm saying? In Italian, if they're not from Italian origin, they guest in opera and things of that nature. Like, come on, man. Like that's just a small way to think. And I'm not surprised. No offense, but I'm not surprised. Like this hip hop shit and how these artists, some people come out on the they pushing the agenda side, and other people try to act like they ain't with that shit. Kanye wearing dresses and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But then you see them throwing up hand gestures, putting up certain shit, wearing certain symbols of the occult and shit like that, but can talk like they ain't a part of it. So in my opinion, you can't, it's like a bar that I got. Let's say something like, if I can remember this, because this is like something I never put out yet, but it's something like, it's no doubt you niggas garbage, so don't speak, because you can't speak straight out your mouth through both cheeks. You understand what I'm saying? So the flipping of the band's garbage, and no doubt one of the songs from No Doubt being called Don't Speak, and then flipping around saying you can't talk straight out your mouth through both cheeks. Basically, you can't walk on both sides of the street at the same time. I can't see you on the left side of the street and see you at the right side of the street at the same time unless I'm on drugs or you got a twin brother. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta take a side. You can't be saying one thing, but then like when that thing gets proven difficult or gets proven faulty, all right, let's just talk about it like this. Let's just make it we was talking about ownership of hip hop. No, we weren't. We talking about people calling him a goat, the goat, even though he wasn't, Biggie Smalls, Tupac, Jay-Z, Nas, Busta Rhymes, one of them. They calling him the goat. And that turned into when people say they disagree with you saying he's a guest in hip hop. Oh, well, do that make you an owner? Like just because you go to a place, you think about it. When you buy a ticket to an event, do you own that place? Think about it. When you save up money and people go to a vacation every year, when you go wherever you go, you pay money to be a guest. So putting those two things together, they don't correlate. Talking about how people said that Eminem is one of the greatest of all times, if not the greatest, it's not the same thing as saying if you save up your money and go on vacation, you paying to be a guest because you saying he's a guest in hip hop. Anybody that don't own the company, the label that can sign artists, put their budgets together, set the A&R and the marketing up for their album promotions and set them radio shows up and all that. If you ain't own that, if you ain't got a team of people behind you, you the president, the CEO and all that, you ain't got organizational structure of how this shit works, then you're a guest as well. If you had to put your talents out there at a talent show, or if you was grinding and doing your things in the streets and then some people noticed you and then you got signed and got your meeting and all that, you're a guest as well. And it don't matter what ethnicity you are, what color you are. I'm light skinned, but I'm mixed with 4 different ethnicities that I know about. And that being like Native American, African American, Irish American, and Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? So am I a guest because I'm a chef and I cook? But I'm of those descents, and usually cooking came from like French, Orient, and all these other dialects came later. So am I a guest in the kitchen? You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't own the restaurant I cook in, or do I just like be the head chef boy who got the serve safe card, who can walk into any place and say, yo, what school they go to? They really didn't go to school. They were home trained. But where they serve safe certification and the license and all that? Oh, they don't got that. Bam, pull it out. They can get them out this kitchen. But again, I just had to address that whole Eminem being a guest in hip hop type shit because I like a lot of different artists. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like a lot of different artists, especially nowadays. I'm 35, bro. A lot of this music that's been coming out since like 2002, 2003, if it's not from an MC that was already established years prior, and they just started coming out around that time of everybody in the club getting tipsy by Jaquan and shit like that, bro, I'm not listening to music. I'm not in my crib listening to the radio. I listen to some Pandora stations, and them Jones got like old school shit. Like I'll click a Young Gun station and have all the old school shit playing. You know what I'm saying? Like literally the old school shit. You won't never hear none of that stuff that whatever the fuck y'all be playing there. No, not even when I be chilling with women because I'm 35. The people that I chill with is not like teenagers and shit like that. So I don't have to worry about a chick being mad if she came over to the crib and I ain't got no like when you become like playing. She ain't gonna be mad if I ain't got no all I know is I love you. Damn, no Drake playing. She ain't gonna be mad. I deal with grown ass women who be listening to I think I better let it go. You know what I'm saying? Listening to that. Do you remember the very first time in September? Like they listen to that. They're like, oh, throw in some oldies, or they listen to some guy. You know what I'm saying? Not some guy, but like the group Guy. You know what I'm saying? With Aaron Hall and R. Kelly and shit and what's the name? Teddy. But bro, you gotta understand, like, People put so many labels on shit. Like they put labels on religion. They make us battle in our mind. They like, yeah, if you this and you say you that, then you got to be on this type of time. If anybody not, and you show them the other way. And that's not how it is. If anybody that's really Islamic that you see coming over here talking all these videos and all that, if anybody really is Christian, if anybody really is Baptist, anybody really Roman Catholic, whatever like that, you read your Torah, you read your Quran, you read your Bible, then you should know that we shouldn't be besmirching or detesting or judging anybody that doesn't follow in our ways before it's not our job to do. And yet you got people out here that, no, you got to live like this and you got to do it like that because you've been accepted by people that have put that shit in your mind. Just like Eminem and any other white artists that actually have any type of success are guests in hip hop. You ain't talking about the motherfuckers who weren't as successful. They wasn't bringing up Cypress Hill. I'm not saying Cypress Hill. Them niggas still touring right now. Independent artists who own their own shit. But I don't hear Cypress Hill being mentioned and other like the Beastie Boys and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But because Eminem is heralded the way he is, sold the albums he's hit, and niggas is scary, dangerous on the mic, he murdered niggas on their own track, he got to be the guest in hip-hop. I just don't agree with it. So, Lord Jamar, you ain't going to never respond to this joint. I'm not looking for no fame and fortune. I don't give a fuck about that. I just felt some type of way, and I even stopped the video 2 minutes before it was done. It's like a 13-minute or 12-minute video, and I stopped that shit like 2 minutes before it was done. Not because I was mad. It was just like, I want to address this, and let me get it out my head now while it's here. It just jumped in my head, so let me speak on that. I don't appreciate that because you got motherfuckers that, like in any field, if you don't own the company, if you're not the person that signs off on the HR department to sign people paychecks, if you're not the person that says yes or no to unemployment when people get fired or lose their job and they got to sign for unemployment from your company, if you're not the one that can say yes or no for contract signings as an artist and all that, if you're not the person that's designing the logo and saying, yeah, I want this to happen, this is my company, you want some Lucius Lion Empire shit to break it down for those who may not see where I'm going, then you're a guest as well in any profession, whether it's music, movies, entertainment. Like you are the guest as well. Hockey, basketball, tennis. If you don't own your own shit, you don't own the PGA Tour, then you a guest in golf. You don't own Wimbledon and all the different WTA tours and all that shit, then guess what? You a guest in tennis. You don't own the entire National Hockey League, guess what? You a guest in hockey. You don't own the entire National Football League and is the president on a board of directors and trustees that can say yes or no to an owner wanting to buy one of the NFL franchises, then you are not you are a guest in NFL. If you do not own the team, if you did not buy the team and the NBA did not sign off to your shit, you a guest in the NBA. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter of a race. We need not, because think about it. I honestly believe this. If Eminem was Hispanic, if Eminem was Irish and black or something like that, just not white, and he still sold the same thing, said the same lyrics, made the same albums, that would have never came out nobody's mouth. It would have never came out that he's a guest in hip hop. It would have never came out, bro. In my opinion, that would have never got said. He would have been out doing his thing, and the next thing you know, it would have been a whole scenario where a motherfucker would have just been like, yeah, man, what do you think about this Eminem guy? Well, I think it's funny because he brown skin plus he mixed with white, so it's like, the whole shell candy with the chocolate inside mixture. I like how he did that, and that's how they've been talking. It wouldn't have been no, because they calling him one of the greatest of all times, or he a GOAT. If anything, the argument would have been, how you gonna call him a GOAT? He wasn't out as long as Tupac, or he didn't have the impact that Biggie Smalls had, or Big L, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's what y'all have been doing. Like, how you calling him a GOAT? Because he ain't been out as long. Remember, they ain't just started heralding Eminem as a GOAT now. They've been doing that since like way before he dropped the Marshall Mathers LP or Encore. You understand what I'm saying? Before any of those albums came out, Marshall Mathers LP 2, I'm sorry, and Encore, and the Eminem Show, he was being heralded as that before them albums dropped. So you go back to his discography and you see like and look at all the reviews and see all the comments about his shit, whether you was against some of his sadistic, rapey, kill entertainer, drown his girlfriend in the trunk of a car when she drive over a bridge lyrics or not, his drugs, syrup, pills, seraphim type shit, whether you like it or not, it reached out and was relatable to a demographic of people who probably wanted to say those things but couldn't express themselves in the way that it was. And it wasn't just on to just bring the white side of hip hop out. That motherfucker was universally respected and heralded. So it wasn't just like, oh, every time Eminem album came out, 20% every other ethnicity brought it and 80% all Caucasian brought it. No, that was if you look at the statistical numbers and you really break that shit down, no, it's gonna be a lot more minority people that got that man album than it is just the people that he rep. I'm not saying that he only rep white people, but I'm saying his race. You know what I'm saying? His ethnicity, not his race. That being said, bro, like, again, I'm sorry to go on, but that's just it's true speak. I had to let that be out. I don't like that. That's some shit. Like, I got white rapper friends, and I don't be like, man, y'all niggas is guests, because if them niggas is hot, And they can spit that shit like and not just be on some hunky dory. The hamburger bun had a gun, so I told the story. And like if they ain't doing some weirdo shit, and even if they are, if they putting their shit intricate to enough where it's a group of people that they can amass themselves to, and all they need is to be able to be promoted to have a widened audience to celebrate them and start selling products on their websites and all that. I don't give a fuck what color you is. You could be one of them green alien niggas off Bart Simpson versus the Space Mutants on Nintendo, nigga. If you got some lyrics and you dropping that shit, I don't care what sex, race, color, or creed you are. You know what I'm saying? If you can dribble the basketball and you know how to play basketball and we try and run a rough or we running the 5-on-5 at the courts, I'm not gonna be like, oh no, boy Chinese, I'm not putting them in the game, dog. I'm not picking ball, I'm not giving ball a run. Oh no, boy white, man, he a guest in the NBA, nigga, he a guest of basketball. You know how country niggas started this shit in the Peach Creek, dog. Like, no. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm like, yeah, you wanna run? Come on, man. That's how it is with me. So I just had to put that out there. I did the YouTube live joint. I'm not looking at my screen right now because I'm using my rear-facing camera. So if there's any comments up there, you know, I'll answer them, Jones, and click them after the fact that this video is published and put up online for y'all. But this is live on YouTube right now. I just find it to be crazy how at this day and age in 2018, we still talk about race. And I don't mean racism. Look at this big ass possum up on this motherfucking roof. This motherfucker climbing on people. Motherfucking Joe, look at this little nigga. I don't even know if I can get the zoom in on his jaw. Yeah, I can, but I don't know if I can see him. Cause my shit, like, the flash ain't on, but this nigga up in motherfuckers' windows and shit, right between the dark and the light, Joe. It's a big ass fucking raccoon, man. But, end of the day status, I just don't agree with those comments that Jamar made about what's the name being a guest of hip hop. Because again, if you don't own one of the companies that sign motherfuckers that say yes or no to other people being VPs on your company, other people being A&Rs and managers and marketers and promoters, other motherfuckers being like real people on your team. Like if you're not the person that head this shit up and think of the idea and put that shit together and it's your company and you pay other people, then you're a guest in whatever that fucking field is. It don't matter if you white and the predominant people started it was black, you know, so anybody that make peanut butter after, you know, the first peanut from George Washington Carver was discovered to be the way it was. Any person that all of a sudden started making peanut butter that wasn't black, they are guests in the industry of peanut butter and peanuts. Like, come on, man. Unless you own a patent and you own everything called a peanut, no matter where they grown, regardless of what model they are, what flavor and shit, unless you have a patent on every peanut and you have a patent and you make a percentage off of every version of every kind of peanut butter, you don't own it. You're a guest as well, regardless of what color you are. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep that shit official, bro. But as always, a partnership, boy, HAAK, I am him in the flesh. Signing off, and as always, a partner like to say, be blessed and less stressed. Fear no evil. Stay vigilant, law. Get your head up.